your novelty, you know that your novelty is very good, and it's a level of PhD or level of master. By systematic review, it will be a good, it will build your confidence, and to determine what people has done and hasn't done in your area of research. Because sometimes I found many students, they are starting them research and they say, okay, I will later on I will do my literature review. I already have the idea, I already have the title, I already have the topic, and so why not I will not go to the lab or to start my analysis. So systematic review will show you when you stop and when you start and when you have to continue to go to your research in lab work or in data analysis. By systematic, you will be very confident to know what you are doing in your research. Also, to find your research topic. Sometimes we think that our topic is very new and no one did this topic before. This idea is very new, and because why we see like this? Because we don't know what the others did. By just searching in Google Scholar or searching in any database without referring to the systematic way, you think that you are the only one who did this research. I found also so many friends, they start and they said my idea is very new, and when they go when they go for proposal defense, they said this topic so many people already did before, and your idea is not level of PhD or not level of master. Sometimes it's already done very long year before. So because you didn't have the enough knowledge, so you thought that you are the only one who did this one, you are the only one who have this idea or this novelty. So later on you will find you will be in trouble and you will find the problem in future. And also to identify similarities and the difference between their work and your work. Because if you did a systematic way, in a systematic way to search about your idea, and you search, you synthesize the research work and the articles systematically, you will find your research gap and the novelty, as we mentioned before. And also to know the methodology and the scope of study. What I'm going to do, what type of materials I'm going to use, what is the test that I'm going to use. Is this test, this type of test are qualified with the novelty? Is it the right way? Is it have enough evidence to answer the reviewer in the future when you go to publish in high impact journal or no? So by systematic way, you will learn how to do your research in a proper way, and you will know the type of test that you are going to do and also the materials that you are going to use. So what is the difference? Now we are talking about systematic literature review, and what we didn't talk about traditional review. I didn't talk about traditional review because most of us at the beginning of our research, we are using the traditional way. We are using the traditional way, just collecting data from different papers and from different articles and build our idea. Systematic review is a different from that. So we are here to show you the difference between systematic review and traditional review. Traditional review is a subjective and broad question and methodology unclear. So because it's a general idea, and also the question is not specific and it's not a narrow question, and also the methodology or the methods that you are going to write, it's not so clear. I don't know from where you collect your data. I don't know from where the database. If I want to know from where this data or from where this result, I have to go back to the reference to check where this data is published, which journal is published this data or this result. So traditional review is difficult for the reader and also difficult for the reviewer to check and in the journal and before they publish it in the journal. Systematic review is objective and narrow question. We will learn how to do right question and how to do a research question and how to build your idea and your topic in coming slides. And also the methodology is clear to define. And we will show you how the methodology is going to be or going to build in a systematic literature review. What are the steps to performing a systematic review? There are several steps to follow to do systematic review. Actually, I don't want you to repeat the same problem as that I repeat in my research. I did a critical review or traditional review before. Then I send it to the journal when they high impact journal Q2 YSAG. After that, it take a long time to review, around 6 months to review. After that, the reviewer give me a comment. Where is your methodology? Why you didn't show us your methodology? Then I change my articles from traditional to systematic review. To build my methodology, it take from me around 2 months. 2 months just to change from traditional review to systematic review. So I don't want you to waste your time to write traditional. Then you later on, if you face like these comments, they will say, where is your methodology? Then you have to change to systematic review. That's why my articles that I send you in the group yesterday, it take around 1.5 years until it's published. So we are here to learn from other mistakes. This is my mistake, and I don't want you to repeat the same mistake. Okay, what are the steps to perform systematic review? First, we have to define your topic and area of interest. This is the first. I think everyone have this one because most of us, we already decide after we finish our degree which area I'm going to study and what's the topic. Sometimes the topic is coming from the supervisor, and sometimes we have to find our topic. How to write our topic? We will go and give you some examples how to write the topic of systematic review or other topic, or your research topic also. And research question. What are you going to answer in this review paper? What are you going to answer? What's the research question of this one? We'll go in details because the topic and research question is the most important process or the most important steps to build our or to write our systematic review or critical review. We have to find our research question and the keyword of our research question very wisely, and we check the common word in our area and in our environment. Also, search and selection strategy, data extraction, data synthesis. So we will start with define your topic and area of interest. To actually there are so different of topics. So one topic sometimes is one topic. We are study about one topic. One topic, that means one faculty and one department. If you are study about in the same faculty and the same department, they call it is a single disciplinary. So this one we call it one topic. Sometimes the topic have two type of topics, two topics or more. There's the same faculty, but or maybe same department. We call it interdisciplinary. And two topics, different faculty and different departments. Sometimes I will give you some examples about this one. Two topics, different faculties and different department. We call it multidisciplinary because now the science and the research in that area now they compound different faculties and different departments. Some study about the environment and they study also about the effect of the economy. So we are discussing something about environment and economy. So different departments and sometimes it's different faculties. And sometimes they study about the medicine and they are also they study the effect to the society. So we are studying about medical and also about the society. So different faculties and different departments. And there are 3 topics and more which all from different faculties and different department, we call it also interdisciplinary. I will give you some examples for this to differentiate. It's difficult for to differentiate without example. Okay, one topic. For example, I will give you today some examples about my area. So I'm using concrete, and I'm studying bioconcrete. So I will give you the examples regarding or according to my area. Okay, one topic. For example, I'm studying about strength of the concrete. Strength of the concrete. This one is I'm studying also only about concrete. So if I'm studying the concrete, it's single disciplinary because it's under civil engineering department, and also it's the same department also, which is structure. So one topic and one from one faculty and one department. If I study two topics, for example, strength of bioconcrete, I add here bio. Bio, that's mean I add bacteria in the concrete. So this one will be interdisciplinary. We have strength about concrete is structure department, and I add bacteria, which is from the another department, which is environmental department. Okay, two topics or more. The different of, for example, the effect of CO2 sequestration to concrete strength. Now I study about CO2 sequestration and also about concrete strength. So we have two topics or more, interdisciplinary. This one we call it interdisciplinary. Three topics and more. This one I can see who are studying different faculties and different departments. This one will be the novelty will be very high because you are combined different departments and different faculties. So your topic will be very hot, and the journals will accept. Maybe the acceptance will be faster than other departments or other topics that's only study only one topic. So if your topic is different, study about different things. For example, this one, the effect of CO2 emission to people health and economy. So we are connecting many things in one title. We are connecting the effect of CO2 emission and also the people health. We are studying about the society also and the economic, and this one from different department and different faculties, and it will be multidisciplinary. Okay, research question. Research question, this is the most important step in our systematic review for today. How to develop a strong research question. There are some specification for research question. First, the research question must be feasible and relevant, complex, specific, focused, and also researchable. I will show you the most important about the specification of research question, how your research question must be built. Research question must be feasible. For example, it can be investigated without undue amount of time, energy, or money. Okay. I don't want to take a research question or to write a research question cannot be answered in 3 years as a PhD student. If your research can be answered only after 10 years, for example, some people, they are very energetic at the beginning of research. He want to develop the human life, and he thought that he is the only one who are going to develop this area or this environment surrounding him. No, your research must be feasible and must be check the time that you can be answered this research question after 3 years. Can you finish your PhD in 3 years or no? So don't thought that you are the only one in this earth who are researching. You have to build your research question, and this research question must be answered in the 3 years that they give you the minimum time, and also you will face many difficulties in your research, and you have to calculate also this time. For example, if they give you the minimum time to finish PhD is 3 years, so please build your research question to finish it in 2 years. If you cannot do like this, you will face a lot of problems during your research then you will be late more than 3 years. And also the money. Some people, they are trying to do a research question, need a lot of facilities, need a lot of equipment and experiments, and these experiments and the tools is not around his area, is not in his university. So how are you going to apply or to answer your research question if you didn't study the environment surrounding you? You have to study the environment in your university. Did the materials available or no? The equipment available or no? Otherwise, you will be in trouble, and you will face a lot of problem during since you don't have money unless you have the grant. If you have enough grant, your supervisor have the grant, so you can do your experiment outside your campus. You can do it in another universities. That's in this this time. I think in this way it will be okay for you. And your research question must be clear. More people would agree as to what the keyword in your question means. Okay, when I write my research question, I have to write the common word in my area. I don't want to select the words that are not used in my area and not used in other articles. So I have to select the common words in my research question. How to know the common words in my research question? You have, at the beginning, you have to read some journals about your topic, and before you start systematic review, you have to read some journals, you have to read some articles. After that, you will found the common word or the common the common words used in your area. So after that, you build your research question. Also significant. It must be significant. This research question must be significant and important knowledge about the human condition. You are here to develop the one problem, or to solve one problem, and to develop your human society, or to serve others, because we call it research. Research just to improve the life or the condition that we are surrounding us. And also this one, it must be ethical. The question, it must be ethical, because some people, they are studying something is not for example, they are like what we are here today in our problem, and we are facing now, coronavirus, COVID-19. This one is affecting others, and it will make a big problem to a human. So this one is not ethical. And if we have to study this problem, or to solve this problem, okay, we can study this one, but we have to take all protection for the society. Otherwise, don't study this like this topic and like this research question. Your research question must be ethical. Examples for non-researchable and researchable. I want you to be patient, because we are still talking in theoretical. Later on, we will go to apply in our database, in Scuba's database. So first, we learn how to build our topic and how to build our research question. After that, we will move to practical way. Please borrow me your patience. Okay, for example, a non-researchable question and researchable question. Okay, should I put the first question? Should I put my younger in preschool? What you understand from this question? I don't understand. It's not specific, and it's not feasible, and it's non-researchable. I cannot search in what's the data that I'm going to collect or to take from the database about this title, this research question. I think it's not researchable, and this question is a bad question of a research question. So if we try to change this research question to be researchable, we ask like this way: do children enrolled in preschool develop better skills than children not enrolled? So we have here, we are specific, we make it specific, and we feasible and to search, and we are going to study about the children and also we are talking about preschool. We already defined the preschool. We didn't say the high school, and we didn't say university. And we are talking about special things. We are talking about children. We are talking about the preschool. They are studying in the preschool. And then we are talking about the social skills. We have, and also comparing between children who study in, and who are not study. Also, for example, social skills than children not enrolled the preschool. So we are here. We have many keywords to search about, and also we have the comparison between both of them. So I think this one is a right way to write a research question, which is researchable. We call it researchable question. Other example are most of people born bad. If we see like this, are most people born bad? So I don't know what to search about. If I go to search in Scopus or in Google Scholar or in Science Direct, what I'm going to search about. But if I change the way of question, how to write the research question is the most important. Who commits more crimes, poor people or rich people? Now we are talking about the committees, and we are talking about the crimes, and we are talking about comparing between poor people and rich people. So if you build your research question like this, you will be easy to search about, and also to find the right keywords in your research question. After that, you will find the data in database. You will find the articles in database. What's the problem of the people or the beginner researchers? They are going to search about some question is not unresearchable. They write like this question, unresearchable question, and they go directly to search in database about the research question, and they didn't found articles. Of course, you will not find articles because you are searching using a wrong way, because you didn't build your idea or your research question correctly. Otherwise, because of that, you didn't find articles. But if you build your research question and choose the right way to compare and to the right keywords, you will find the articles in your database and in research database. And the other problem, some of the researchers, they are going to copy all the research question, the whole research question. They copy the whole research question, and they go directly copy paste to database. They go to, for example, they write all the full title, and they go to search in database. Of course, you will not find enough data because you are writing the full research question in your database. And also it must be remember that if you copy your title, the full title, and put it in Facebook or sorry, put it in Google Scholar, you will maybe your idea will stolen by others. Believe me, sometimes when actually there are three different ways to steal your idea. One, to send your article to unethic publication, unethic, for example, unethic conference or something, unethic journals. So if you send your article, for example, you publish the first the first conference paper, for example, then they will steal your idea or novelty. This is one way, but it's not. It doesn't happen. Only seldom time happen. Other way to steal your idea is to post the full title in Google Scholar or in other database, because it's not right way to put all the data or of the full title in the research database. Okay, to step 3, we already build our topic, and we already talking about research question. Now we are talking about search and selection strategy. How to search in database. Already have the title, already have the research question. Now, how I'm going to download the articles from database and how I'm going to search about my database. Selecting strategy, we have different strategy to do the limitation. First, we search about by keyword or terms to identify the relevant literature. As we mentioned before, we have the research question, we have our keywords, then we are going to search using by keyword at the beginning, then we will do other limitation. How to do the limitation, we will explain in details later on, but I want to show you before we explain practically. We have to show you here using Boolean operators. For example, we use and, or, not, or and not, and other limitations. Other limitations like we are selecting the years. What type of, what's the years that I'm going to search? I'm searching for last 5 years or last 10 years. This is depend on my area and depend on my faculty. For example, the people who are studying in IT, some journals, they ask only update your reference for 5 years only, for the last 5 years. And for example, in engineering, like civil engineering, 10 years is acceptable. And if you search about last 5 years, it's also, it will be great, and it will be better than if you search about 10 years. But some people, they said, okay, but I have some reference before the 10 years or before the 5 years. I want to add some reference before 10 years or 5 years. So you can add it, but you have to list down. There are some reference out of your limitation. All this, what we are talking about, we are going to practice after few slides in Scuba's database. Okay, to choose the right database related to your topic or to your specific area, we have different database, as we know. We have YSAG Web of Science, we have Science Direct, Elsevier, and we have IEEE, and we have Scopus, Google Scholar, and other database. There are so many database. So we select. You are here the manager. You are the writer. You are the manager. You are the authors to write this article. So you are the one who will select the database that you are going to publish or are going to collect your data from, which database. But please, when you write from different database, when you select a database, you have to select and mention in your methodology of the review article clearly. You have to mention that I select, for example, Scopus, or I select IEEE, and mention why you select only this database, and give an idea and clear idea to the readers and to the reviewers why you select this database. Because some of the electrical researchers, they prefer IEEE, and some of them, they prefer Scopus. But why you choose IEEE, and why you choose Scopus, and why you choose, for example, YSAG Web of Science and Science Direct? You have to select the database that you are going to search in it, and to collect your articles, and to analyze your data and synthesize your data from which database. That one is very important, to select the right database. Okay, now I give you an example about my article that I already sent to you in a group, WhatsApp group. My articles was about how to sequestrate CO2. This example will be with us until we finish this session. So because I want to show you step by step how did I build my research question, and how I search in database, and how I collect the data from the database. Okay, how to sequestrate carbon dioxide, CO2, by carbonation process in bioconcrete using bacteria. Okay, now we have the research question. This research question, we have sequestration carbon dioxide, CO2. This is one main keyword, the first main keyword. The second main keyword is carbonation. After that, bioconcrete, bacteria. So we have around 4 main keywords. This is the main keyword. After that, you can do sub keywords. From the main keyword, you can do sub keywords. How to do the sub keywords? You have to read some journals and some articles to find the sub keywords. How I found it in my research question. For example, I study about sequestration carbon dioxide. Okay, when I go to search about this one, I found that there are two types of sequestration of carbon dioxide from different articles. So this different way to sequestrate or capture CO2 from atmosphere is by biological sequestration or by geological sequestration. Okay, if I go to search about this keyword in database in Scopus, I will find around 16,922 articles. This is a huge number of articles. I cannot read. Even I spend my life, I think I cannot read all these articles. So I have to select other keywords, which is, we call it sub keywords. Now we are talking about the main keyword. The main keyword, we found a huge amount of articles. This is number of articles. After that, I go to search what type of carbon dioxide sequestration. So I found that biological sequestration and geological sequestration. So if I go to search directly after this, I will show you practical after a few minutes. If I search about this one, I will find in geological, biological sequestration, 2,400 articles. And also geological sequestration, I found 4,000 and plus articles. It's also a huge number of articles. It's very difficult for me to read all these articles. So I go narrow and narrow. I want to find the area that I'm going to search about. I want to use a bacteria inside the concrete to sequestrate, to capture CO2 from atmosphere. So to do this one, I have to select which one, which biological sequestration or biological sequestration. I go to search about it. It's biological sequestration. Then I select bacteria. I want to use bacteria because there are in biological sequestration, there is different keywords and there is different application. They use other application. Some of them they use bacteria. Some of them they use other type of biological or bacteria types. What type of bacteria? What type of enzyme? So I go narrow and narrow to limitation, to do the limitation of my search. Okay, I go to bacteria, then I found a list number, then carbon anhydrase bacteria, type of carbon anhydrase bacteria. So when I go narrow and narrow, I found a limitation. I did the limitation of my research question or my articles that I'm going to which point. I want to check the bacteria, which bacteria used in sequestration of carbon dioxide. I don't want to use all bacteria, and I don't want to use all different type of sequestration, because I want to focus on one point only. Then I go to carbon dioxide. So after carbonation, we go to concrete carbonation. 344. 344 is reasonable number, and it's okay, and it can be read by title and do the limitation. Other details in the coming slides we will explain in details. Boolean operators. Boolean operators, we have and, or, and not. This one we can do the limitation by in any database. We have this tools, and this is the symbol, the symbols of this operators. We have and, we have or, and we have not. But if I use and, for example, I give you here an example. For example, if we are searching about dog and cat, I'm searching about dog and cat. I want the articles that I'm searching about, both of them, they are talking about dog and they are talking about cats. Okay. If I do and, I will find only a few number of articles, your research area will be here. This is the research area. But if I use or, it will give me a huge number of articles, and all this will be the area of my research. This one will be the area of my research. It's very difficult for you. Some people, they don't find a lot of articles. They are talking about dog and cats, so they have to use or. But if there is a huge number, as I show you from my example, if I found a huge number of articles, a lot of articles, so I have to use or and sorry. But if there is only a few number of articles, so it's better to use or. Not, for example, I use dog, not cat. I'm only searching about dog, but I'm not searching about cat. It will be show me this area, which is the area of dogs. So if I search like this, I will find in the articles, they will mention that whether in a title or in abstract or in keywords. Sometimes it depends on you, how you want to do the limitation. Okay, as we show you here, don't be confused. This is your research area. I want to search about, and this is my research area. And if we have different faculties and different departments, as we see, this is our area, and we have to focus more about area of research and to find or select the area of research. So this one, it will show you which one is excellent, which one is good, which one is okay. If you see here, if your research area in this point, this one is very excellent. If your research area is in this point or here, it will be a good, okay, or acceptable if your area or research will be in this area. As we show you before, it's better to use and. To be very excellent, use and. To be in this area of research will be this point. Okay. Now we are going to use in Scopus. I already show you my research question. Now I will apply in the research to search about it and the keyword and I'll show you how to do the limitation for to find the articles in your topic area and your research question. How to answer your research question by database. Okay, I use in this one I use Scopus database. Because I thought that the database of Scopus is so common use, and it's in my area. It's the proper way or the proper database that I use. So I search in database using Scopus database. So I will open now the internet and I will show you how to search and how to do the limitation. We have to do the limitation step by step by using the Scopus database. And if you have the internet, you can follow us step by step. If you don't have the internet, you can follow the steps. Then later on, you will practice about your topic and about your research question. Just let me open the database of Scopus. One minute, sorry. I'm now trying to open the Scopus database. If you have the internet of university internet, you can open Scopus. Can you see the screen of Scopus? Mr. Mana, can you hear me? Hello, Mr. Mana. Okay, if you can see the scopus. Okay, now I'll go to search about the first keyword, which is carbon dioxide, sequestration of carbon dioxide. Okay, for sequestration, I will go to carbon dioxide sequestration. I will search in document search. If you see here, this is the document, this is the search. I will write here carbon dioxide sequestration. After that, I will search about. Then you see how many articles. This is the number of articles. I don't know, you can see the articles or no? Okay. Some of you said we can see, some of you said we cannot see. Okay, let me open it again. Okay. Okay, I found now 16,964.46. This is the whole document about the study. I don't know that you. Okay. Okay, everyone see it now. Okay, alhamdulillah. Okay. Sequestration of carbon dioxide. Carbon, and you see, if you can see here, and dioxide sequestration. Okay, this is the first keyword that I researched about it. Now I have the sub keyword, other sub keyword. The sub keyword is biological sequestration. Biological sequestration. So if I search about biological sequestration, it will be 3,469 articles. Now I have the first main keyword, and you see here, and the other sub keyword, which is biological sequestration. Biological sequestration. After biological sequestration, I search about bacteria. Other sub keywords. So we call it sub keyword. This sub keyword will do the limitation for me, will minimize the documents or the number of documents. Okay. Now we have 666. 666 is still a logic number, but for the sub keyword, and we still have other main keyword. I think it's still not, this number is still a huge number of articles or documents. So we have to do the limitation, which is carbon anhydrase. Carbon anhydrase. Then we do search. Now I have 114 documents is something logic, and I can use this this at this step. We are searching about the keyword. We didn't go to the more details. Now we are still searching about the data and the documents and the result about using keyword. We didn't use other limitation. Now I will use the other limitation, which is we have here many limitation. You can see here limitation 2. We have the year. We have also the area and also the type of documents. If you can see the type of documents, article, review, chapter in book, or conference paper, all these are limitation. So we are using the limitation. How to use the limitation? For me and for my study, I use this one. For example, I want to show last 10 years. Last 10 years, you go to here, view more. View more. or view all. Okay, now I search about, I select the years that I want to search. I want 10 years, so I have to select the 10 years. Okay, that's why I use from 2009 in my article to from 2009 to 2019. Then I do limit 2. When I do limit 2, you see from 166 or 114, it's limited to 102 documents. So I have to do other limitation. Now we did limitation by years. What other limitation? We have to do the limitation using type of documents. Type of documents, article, we have review. This is the best the best way that we use, article and review. Because chapter in book, it's not very very high level of publication, and the conference paper is not high level of publication. So if you choose this one, article and review, your data and your result will be trust, and the reviewer will be satisfied to accept your research paper in high impact journal and publish it in high impact journal. So after that, we go to limit 2. We already select the article and we select the review, and we go to limit 2. When we do limit 2, you see it's decreased from 102 to 89. 89 documents. Now this number of articles is acceptable, and I can do other limitation. But the other step of limitation I will show you later on. But we will go or move to other type of search, because we have 4 articles. We have 4 articles. So if I want to search about, we search now about biological sequestration. I want to search about other type of sequestration, other type of carbon dioxide sequestration. So I have to go back to the previous step of this step, which is carbon dioxide sequestration, and search about the other type of sequestration, which is geological sequestration. So I will go one step back, if you see here, and other step back. Now we have carbon dioxide sequestration and biological sequestration, bacteria, carbon anhydrase. We have to go back another time, one more, and one more. Okay, now we go back to 16,000, which is about carbon dioxide sequestration. Now I have to delete this keyword, the sub keyword, and insert the another sub keyword. Why I do like this? Because from this main keyword we have different sub keyword. We have biological sequestration and we have geological sequestration. So I cannot search about carbon dioxide sequestration, then I go to geological sequestration. After that, I go directly to biological sequestration. Now, like this, it will be a wrong way to search about. So you have to choose the main word, which is the main word, as I show you in the slides. I will go back to the slide to show you. Let me show you, because I think you already forgot the research question. Okay. Okay, this is our research question. Now we search about sequestration, carbon dioxide, CO2. We have here geological, biological sequestration. We already searched about it, and bacteria and carbon anhydrase, until we found around 60, 80, 89 or 86 article about only this one. We go directly one by one. This is our main keyword, and this is sub keyword, this is sub keyword, and this is sub keyword. So we have different keywords and sub keywords, so we don't confuse. If you want to search about the another sub keyword, we have to go back until we found sequestration, carbon dioxide. Then we go to geological sequestration, After geological sequestration, we search about underground. Let's go to try in Scobus. I'll show you. Okay, now we have carbon dioxide sequestration. I will go back to geological sequestration. Geological sequestration. Then I will search to check. This is my result. This is the result that we found 6,420 documents results. This is the result, is still very huge and very huge data, and many articles. I cannot read even the titles of these articles. So I have to go narrow and narrow. I have to find less data and less documents. So I use underground because I want to discuss about this keyword. Underground. Okay, I have 581. I have 581 documents. Still logic, and I don't have another sub keyword. I don't have, after underground, I don't have another sub keyword. This is my last sub keyword. If you have, this is the last sub keyword. This is the method. How can we go narrow and narrow? Now we stop at this level and at this point. So I have 500. We can do other limitation. How to do other limitation? As I show you, by year or by article type of documents. So I have to decide what type of year that I use. View all. Then I choose the years, last 10 years. Last 10 years. Okay, then I go to limit to. Okay, 532. And type of documents. Type of documents, I select article and select review. Then we do limit to. See, now we have 478. 478. This is by keyword. Be remember, we still in the first step of searching. We are searching and do limitation by keyword only. Keyword, the main keywords and the sub keywords. Otherwise, after that, we have to follow other limitation. We have now, we limit by years and limit by type of articles. And we have another step we will show you later on. Let us go to the PowerPoint and to show you the about this one. Okay, geological sequestration, we found 4,000 plus article, and underground we found also less than this number, which is around 4,000 for 300 or 500 articles. Now we have carbonation, other main keywords. Now we finish the sub keyword, the first sub keyword and the first main keyword. But please remember, when you finish to do search about the sub keyword, for example, here we have the documents. We already finished the first main keyword and one of the sub keyword to search about. We have to export. I will show you later on how to export this result and these articles. After that, after you export to Excel or to Mendeley or to other software you use, then you go to search about another main keyword. We said the other main keyword, we have carbon dioxide sequestration and carbonation. Let's go back step. Now we are searching about the another main keyword and the other sub keyword. All the main keywords are related to carbon sequestration dioxide. So let's go to carbon dioxide sequestration. This is carbon dioxide sequestration. I will go now to search about carbonation. Carbonation. Then we do search. Now I have 1,900 plus. After that, I go to limit by years. To choose the right, I repeat this one because if you miss the previous sub keyword, you can follow this one. I have to repeat all the main keyword and the sub keyword of my articles. If you miss any steps, you can follow in the other sub keyword. Then I do limit to. Okay, now we have the number of documents is decreased to from 1,900 to 1,600. And we select also other type of articles or type of documents. We have article and we have review. Article and review. Why I select article and review? I tell you because it's the most trust data, and it's not only trust, it's the high quality data and high quality result, because articles and review is published, most of them they publish in YSAG and in a high impact journal. So then I go to limit to. It's decreased from 1,600 to 1,400. So after that, we can do other type of limitation. But before we do this one, I want to show you something in the PowerPoint. Okay, now we search about carbonation, concrete carbonation. Concrete carbonation, it will be 344 articles. And all these articles for the sub keyword, if you can see, it's 7,000 plus. 7,000 plus, even the title, you cannot read the title of these articles. But when we go deep and deep, and do other limitations, we have to do other limitations. We have to, otherwise you cannot do your systematic literature. Okay, this is the the process that I did before. This is the process that I did in Scobus. This is carbon dioxide sequestration. This is all this is the protocol of my paper. So we go narrow and narrow. We use this rectangular. So we go narrow and narrow. We start searching by keyword. This one is the main keyword, and this one is the sub keyword. We found the total number of articles. Sequestration of carbon dioxide. Then we go to biological sequestration is 2,000 plus. And then we go to bacteria is 400 plus, and carbon anhydrase. Then other main keyword is geological sequestration, it's 4,000 plus. After that we go more narrow is underground. We found that 400 plus. The total number of articles for after we apply the sub keyword is 894. 894. This the whole documents of that I found by using articles and using keyword only. Limitation of keyword and limitation of the years and limitation of type of documents. This is 3 type of limitation. How did I have to read all these documents? Still a huge number of articles. So I have to make it more narrow, and we study about other type of limitation. How to do other type of limitation? Let's go to Scobus and I'll show you how to do the one more limitation. Okay, now we already found, for example, this main keyword and the sub keyword. After we did the limitation by keywords, and after we did the limitation by using the years and the type of documents, what we have to do. This is still a huge number of documents. So we have here to concrete carbonation. Sorry, concrete carbonation. Okay, after we did concrete carbonation, we have 365. This is our last step of using keyword. So what should I do? I have to do limitation using title. Okay, now I have to read all the titles of this article. I have to select, for example, this one is talking about carbonation. I have to select this one. I have to select this one, for example. I ignore this one. I read one by one the 300 documents. I have to read all the documents, all the titles, and select the right documents related to my topic. How to know it's related to my topic or no? You have to read some journals before you go to a systematic way. This is my advice to everyone want to do systematic literature review. You have to read at least 15 or 20 articles about your area, and to find the keywords, the right keywords, and to know which articles is more related to your topic. You select by title. After you select by title, you will find that you need to export. Now this is the last step of limitation. We already do limitation by keywords. I will repeat it again. Limitation by keyword, main keywords, limitation by sub keywords, and we do limitation by years. After that, we do limitation by type of documents. The last step, we do limitation by the title. We have to read all the titles and we do the limitation. After that, we have to export. We already finalized the limitation and we do export. We go to export, and now you are here so many choice. You have Mendeley, you have Excel, you have EndNote, you have so different type of software they use. For example, I use Excel sometimes, and sometimes I use Mendeley. It depends on you what type of software that you use. If you don't have any software, you use software manager or reference manager. You have to use Excel. You select in Excel. After that, you have to export. If you do export, all the papers that you select, all the documents that you select, it will save in one file in Excel. This Excel will show you the years, the author's name, the title of articles, will show you the journals and the year of publication, all the details and of these documents. Each document will be appear in the Excel or in a reference manager like Mendeley or like EndNote. After, I don't want to do export now, so you can do it. After that, it will be saved directly in your Excel. This is the second type of limitation. Okay, go back to our search selection strategy. We have, as we mentioned before, the title, abstract, and we can use the, there is one question: how many relevant papers did you find? Some people, they said we found only 20 articles, and some of them, they said we found 300 or plus. So if you only found 300, 200 or 20 articles, I think it's very more narrow and maybe better or broad topic. That means your topic is so new in this area, and you have to search, use the main keyword and the sub keyword also, and to check. Sometimes this number occur because of the wrong keywords that you use in your research question, as we mentioned before, or sometimes this number is not accurate. So if your steps, all the steps that we mentioned before is accurate and it's good in a good way, that means you are in a right way and your title is so good. And the documents that you use is it's more narrow and it's better for you. That means your area is very good area, and the right question you already select and choose. Okay, now after we did the by keyword, as I mentioned before, we are here as selecting based on the title. As I show you before in the Scubas, we will select documents one by one to find the documents and to find which one is related to our title. After I select all and extract to Excel, I calculate I have 336 documents. All these 336 documents, I have to read all of them. So you have to read all the documents, the final documents that you download. And you have to download these documents from anywhere. You have to find these documents and the PDF of this document, and you have to read all of them. After that, you found the data. Some people, as I mentioned before, they will say there are some articles not in our limitation steps that we use. For example, some of them is very old. Some, for example, some reference is from 1950. 1950. How can I do it and how can I apply it in my systematic review? And I already select last 10 years. Okay, you already select last 10 years, of course, but there are some articles out of this limitation. You can use them. You can use them, but you have to mention that this is out of limitation. For example, in my paper, I use review in out of the limitation. Out of limitation is 31. We have 31 articles out of the limitation. Out of the limitation according to years or according to articles. Some articles I take from conference because I select only articles and review. Some of them are from the conference paper. So this one is count as out of limitation. Any articles out of your limitation, you have to mention that this is out of limitation. Okay. After that, I say from this 336, it's of course I will not cite all these documents in my paper. When I write my paper, I will not cite all these documents because I will cite only the good result, the result that related to my area and to my topic. So I will mention here, this is only the cited paper or the extracting according to the result. According to the result. If the result is match or the result is okay with my research, so I will mention here, this is according to the result, is around 90 documents from the paper that I already download, which is in limitation. Out of limitation, last time is 31, then I only cite 17. By plus 19 plus 17, it will be the total articles that I cite in my paper. If you refer to my paper, you find 107 articles that already cited in my paper. Like this, if we do like this, this is our protocol. We call it, this one is the protocol. Protocol of the methodology. How you did your methodology, then you have to explain about it. As I mentioned, as I show you last yesterday, I asked you to download the articles. You will see in the methodology section, I explain all the steps that I did here. All the steps I explain in one paragraph, and I explain all the details that I did to do this protocol. How did I extract and how I got this data? Because now, if I do like this, the reader and the reviewer, it will be easy for him to know which is from where this data coming and what type of articles, what's the level of documents is accurate or no, and what the number of reference that he cite in his article. Now we are going to extract data extraction. As I mentioned before, we have to extract only the relative to your title, that you will check one by one, which is the relative to your title, and also you will choose the reference manager, and which choose EndNote or Elsevier, Excel or EndNote or Mendeley, other type of manager software you can choose and select the right the right material that you want to use, right software manager. Then we go to data synthesis, and we have to build up. How to build up your information, how to build up your writing, how you are going to report and you write your articles. First step, you have to read and read and read. Without reading, you cannot find the right data, and you cannot write the right data and analysis, and you cannot publish in high impact factor. You have to read all the documents that you download, and because if you read all these documents that you download, you will be confident. You will be confident to go to the lab, because this is my advice to all the researchers who start PhD or master. Please try to do a review paper. If your review paper published in high impact factor, believe me, you will not face any problem in future about your novelty or about your research area. You will, the panel will not talk about this novelty, because your novelty already published and checked by high level of journal and high impact factor, so you will be in a safe mood. So after that, putting together. After you read, you have to putting together. How to put your data together? You have to follow some steps. I will show you in the following slides how to build your data. Actually, there are some software now. They are some people using Atlas software. Atlas software, this one will help you to write your review paper. But if you don't have Atlas, I will show you the traditional way to write your data, or to build your idea together and make a whole out of the parts. Then combine, do the combination elements together, and to build your idea and to build your writing. After that, after you make sure that your your narrative synthesis, and you have to find the summaries, you have to explain about the words and the subtitle. You will find after the reading, you'll know what to write. You will find your subtitle. You write the subtitles of your area of the papers that you are going to write, and you build your idea step by step. And to build your idea, you have to do this to follow this way. This is my experience. I'm not sharing this one as this is the perfect way to do data synthesis, but this is my experience, and I share it with you. When I read any articles, now we already download all the articles. We have our articles in PDF. Now, how to read this article, and how to build your data, and how to write your data in the manuscript on systematic review. Okay, now we already finished the steps. After that, now the documents in front of us, we need to read these documents one by one, and to build our data, and to write our data in manuscript. So this is my experience. When I open any documents, I focus in four things. I summarize, or I do the shortcut is a SMAP. S is the scope, and M is the methodology, A is the aim, P is the problem statement. When you read any documents, new for you, it's something new information. You don't know about it. You don't know what to search, what to find. Yeah, last week, one of my friend, he's starting his master. He contacted me. I open a lot of documents, but I don't know what to find from this document, how to read this document. Then I send to him this photo. I tell him, okay, you have to focus on these four things. One is the scope of study, what type of material they use, what type of test they use, how they measure them study, how they the materials that they use it, and what's the type of the methodology, how they follow, what's the methodology that they follow to apply or to do them research. After and also the aim of this research. What's the aim of this research? This research, the aim will help you to find also the research gap. What's the difference between you and this research, your research and this research? And also the problem statement. What's the problem they solve? You have to focus in these four things and extract your data in this table. You have to build this table. Now we have the documents. We have also the keywords. We have the four things. We are searching about four things. How to report your data, your result, because you are at the beginning of writing. You are not going directly right from the documents in your research article. First, you build this table. This table will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 columns. These 5 columns, one is the number of articles that you read, the first article that you read. Then you write the author name and the date and the title of this document that you read. Then remarkable point. What's the remarkable point? The 4 things that we tell you. The aim of study, objective of study, scope of study, and the material that they use. This is about the materials that they use and the methodology that they use. And you have to find the finding. This is the finding, and you write the finding here. And this is the research gap. Research gap was the difference between you and the others study. After you do this one, this table, after you read all your documents and write it in this way, you are not going to write. This one is, most of them is copy paste. This one is copy paste. No need to write by your own words. So easy for you just to remember in the future. When you are going to write your articles, everything is in front of you. You already know where what this article talking about and what type of material they use in this article, what's the objective of this article, and easy for you to write in subtopic. For example, I'm talking about now the compressive strength. Compressive strength, this article, for example, is talking about compressive strength. So easy for me to refer to. The documents number 12 or number 10 that I read already talking about compressive strength. So I have to refer directly to my table and write my data. Sorry, can you give me just 1 minute to drink? Okay, so sorry. Let's continue. Okay, now we already have the table and we already report our data in this table. After that, before we go to data reporting, how to write and how to report, how to build your figure, how to build your tables. So I want just to do refresh for the last information that we did and we study about systematic review. First, we said we have to search about research question. We found our title. We found research question. After that, we search about keyword by keyword. And also, we select the database that we are going to search, which is Scopus, YSAG, other things. And then we go to search. This is what they call it, the protocol of systematic review. And this one, you can write it in your systematic review article that you are going to publish. This one is from Dr. Yusuf, I think from Dr. Yusuf paper. He did like this. And you have to search, then studies. After that, filtering and also analysis. Then analyze and synthesize. And after that, we have the data. We have our articles. We already have the data, but we don't know how to write the data. Now we already built our table and we already select some data and how to write it. I will give you some examples after we show you another example of protocols. This is other protocol of Dr. Yusuf, because to do the methodology of your systematic review from the 2 articles that I already published in the group, my article and Dr. Yusuf Ashra'i article, you can, for the methodology, I advise you to follow Dr. Yusuf. It's better than my methodology because my methodology, I just changed from traditional review paper to a systematic review article. So, but Dr. Yusuf, he is from the beginning writing his methodology using systematic way. So, if you want to follow the methodology, you follow Dr. Yusuf methodology because he do it very accurate and he published it in Q1. My paper is in Q2, so his level of articles is better than my article paper. So he starts by research question, search strategy, and search terms. And the terms is the keyword what we mentioned before, and search process. And we have to do also the quality of the papers and the assessment and data synthesis and reporting. Now we are in this step, how to report our data. I know everyone is waiting for this, how to report. Reporting data, I give you some examples here, because if you found the figures or plot your figures and tables of the review paper, of course you can discuss and you can write your articles. Okay, this is the contents of systematic review. The contents is similar to any review paper, any traditional paper. We have a title, we have abstract, we have keyword, introduction, review, but in systematic review, we have review methodology, but traditional review, we don't have review methodology. And we have also limitation of this review. Limitation of this review, in traditional review, we don't have limitation of this review. And we have result and discussion, conclusion, acknowledgement, and reference. This one is the content of the systematic literature review. Review methodology, as I show you the protocol of that we discuss about how we search about the keywords, how we search in database in Scopus, how we do the limitation, how we do the all the methodology, any related to the methodology. And limitation of this review. What does it mean? Limitation of this review. Limitation of this review that show the weakness of your review. For example, my paper, the weakness of my paper, I have to mention the weakness of my paper is only using database, only Scopus database. This is it's considered as it's considered as a weakness, because some researchers, same as Dr. Yusuf, he used different database. He used different database, but he mentioned also in methodology that he used different database. So, but he have other weakness. So he have to repeat. He have to write and report the weaknesses of his paper in this limitation of this review. After we study, we know the title. Okay, this is the protocol of Dr. Yusuf. So different database. I use only from Scopus. I now I do comparison because easy for you to understand. Because if I do, why I select these two articles to show you the difference from because this one Dr. Yusuf he discussed about different database. I choose only from Scopus. Okay, for example, Dr. Yusuf, he used Web of Science, he used Science Direct, he used IEEE, he used different sources, Scopus also, Springer, all these articles from different sources, but remember that some articles, they publish in Web of Science, and also they publish in Science Direct. So the same title you will find in this database and this database. So you have to mention which is the duplicate, which is extracted according to duplicate. Okay, this is the total of articles, and we have to mention that the relevant paper and also the duplicate paper, we have to remove the duplication. We have to remove the duplication. If, for example, I read in Scopus the documents that I already download from Scopus and the documents that download from Web of Science, for example, and the same title is here and the same title in this database also. You have to mention that how many numbers duplicated from this database and from all database, and you have to mention the number and you write the final number without duplication. This is the final number is 206 without any duplication in his article. And this is, as I showed you last time, this is my protocol of methodology. Okay, after we did this one, I want you to check this number. This is the 336, and this is the total number of cited paper is 107. So I did in my methodology to make it more clear. Okay, I built this graph. This figure, if you can see this figure, this is showing the years, different years, because I use 10 years, last 10 years. From last 10 years, 2019 to, from 2009 to 2019, and below this one is out of limitation. Below of this one, out of limitation. And this is every year, how many articles in 2019? How many articles that I already download? To show the to show the reviewer and to show the readers that reading your articles how how your methodology is more clear. For example, in 2019, 33 documents, and I cite 12. In 2018, 30 documents they publish in this area. So I cited 10, and so on. After this is out of limitation, which is out of my limitation. It's below the 2009. The total number is 12, and I cite only 15. This is cited paper, and this is reviewed paper. This is why cited. What's the difference between cited paper and reviewed paper? Reviewed paper that I already read, but I didn't cite all of them. This is, and this is cited paper that I already read and cite in my articles. Also, this table, I will also build this table in my methodology. If you refer to the article, you will find this table. This table is showing the year of publication from 2009 to 2019, and below than 2009, which is out of limitation. And I found, I show them based on keyword. That the articles, the number of articles in 2019 that talking about carbon anhydride and biosequestration is 9 articles, and 10 articles talking about geological sequestration, and 13 articles talking about carbonation of the concrete. So all this total is 33 articles, as I show you here in this 33 articles in 2019. This is the total of 2019, and this one 12 number that cited paper. This is review paper, and this is cited paper. In 2018, the same things, and until you have the total by keywords. By keywords, the total carbon, the paper that talking about carbon anhydride is 47, and the talking about geological sequestration is 157, and so on, until you finalize that the total number of articles that you are reviewed or read is 336, and the cited paper only, sorry, I did mistake here, it's 107. Okay, and this, we are talking about methodology. Now we have most of the journals, they asking to write or to do a graphical abstract. How to do graphical abstract? This graphical abstract, believe me, graphical abstract will summarize many things, and it will be easy for the editor to accept or to reject your paper. If you show them a good graphical abstract, it will reflect that you are a good researcher, and your paper is high level. So you have to do a good graphical abstract. And some journals, I told you, some journals is compulsory to write a graphical abstract, and some journals is not compulsory. But in my way, in my opinion, it's better to write graphical abstract whether they ask you to do it or no. This one will show a good things, and it will show your idea more clear. Okay, for example, I explained to you this one, graphical abstract, how I did this graphical abstract, very brief. For example, I told you I'm talking about CO2, the emission of CO2. Then I built in this square how many sources of CO2, the type of CO2 that emission CO2, and the way of sequestration. We are talking about, last time I told you that geological sequestration underground, and also biological sequestration, which is under the ocean by using other type of bacteria, and also they are sequestration CO2 using tree, by building tree. So where is my idea? What I'm going to do? In my graphical abstract, I have to show them what I'm going to do. I have to show this is my concrete, this is the porosity in my concrete, and I will go to sequestrate this CO2 inside this porous using bacteria. This is the bacteria, and this is the reaction how bacteria will sequestrate CO2 from atmosphere and sequestrate it inside the concrete. By this way, I show them that I already did the effort. When you read as a reviewer, when you show to them this article or this graphical abstract, it's reflect to me as a reviewer. He did a lot of effort to do this one. It's a high impact work, and so I can accept to send it to review and publish it in high impact journal. Also, how to report your data. As we mentioned that, we will show you how to build your tables, or and also to how to do your figures. Okay, first you collect your data. After we collect your data, you try to build your data in a figures and in tables. Because if you have this table, for example, this table, I'm talking about the emission of CO2 from 1950 and to 2100, which is 150 years. I collect the data in this period, so from different sources. If you can see, this one from different articles, and this one from different article, and this one from different article, and also he expected what the emission of CO2 will be in future until 2100. So if I build this figure, I write this figure, so this figure will be my own figure. I can't discuss about it. It's not plagiarism. If you are discussing about your new table or new figure that you already built. You are talking about your new finding. So you can find and you can write easily about, you can discuss this figure, how it will be increased the CO2, how the previous study discussed about it, how it was in the last time. It will be easy for you to report your data. This is another example. They are talking about the steps of sequestration of CO2. How they sequestrate of CO2. This graph in front of you is collected, the data on this graph is collected from more than 10 articles. Some articles, they are talking about this step 1. Some articles talking about step 2. Some talking about step 3 and step 4. So it's better than you write it in words, in paragraphs. You have to build your imagination. When you are writing articles, you should be very high imagination. You have to imagine how to enhance your writing, how to make it graphical, how the reader read it very quickly and get what you are going to discuss and what you are going to write. I built this figure, I told you, from different articles, and now it's easy for the researchers to read. It's very easy for them to read this article and summarize, very easy for them. Also this figure, and this is the factors affecting carbonation process. Some of our articles, they are talking about physical characteristic only, and there are many, and many articles discussing about chemical properties, and some articles talking about the export conditions. I try to combine all of them together and build a new graph for easy for me to write what I already summarized here, and easy for the others to read and to give them a summary to do the work and to search in this area. Okay, this is a chemical reaction. Everyone know that chemical equation writing in a line, it can be write by equation in word, but to be more creative, I try to make it in figure. So I have two reaction. I just explain to you some examples to just to share with you how to build your figure and how to write your data. Okay. Now I have two type of reaction. Reaction is a natural carbonation, and I have bacteria inside the concrete. So I have two reaction. So this is a natural reaction in concrete, which is carbonation, and it's resulted calcium carbonate. And also this is the reaction of bacteria, and also they meet together in this point, which is interaction point, and the result is the same result, but it will increase the precipitation of calcium carbonate. So by this way, when the reviewer and the editor see this graph, he said this one is uh, easy for others to understand what you are going to do in your lab work and what you are going to do in your future work of your research. So it's easy for you to summarize the idea to others. And also this is how to build the tables. Now I already show you the figures, how to build your, how to report your data in figures and how to report your data in a tables. For example, this one, we are talking about cement production. Cement production, how much cement product in 2005 and how much cement product in 2010, 2015. I compare in between every 5 years. Okay, every 5 years they are, this is the country, different country, China, India, United States, all the country I list that I found the data from different articles, from different documents. Then I have to write it here in percentage how much, and in unit how much they produce cement in 2005, in 2010, in 2015. And some countries that we don't have. So for example, then we have to write we don't have the data for this country. For example, in 2015 we don't have this data. So but we have the data of 2005. After that you discuss. You have to discuss about, build your table, build your figure. Then you have to discuss in details about your idea. And this is another table. For example, because I'm studying concrete, so this is the table type of concrete. I list the type of concrete they use, what type of material they add, and what is the conditions, and the reviewers and the site, the documents by using the authors and year. This is the way how to build your data. Build your data using tables and figures, and then you discuss about it. Discuss about it in some of a few in different. For example, some of them in IT, some of them in all the departments. They have them own data, and they have to find how what's the right way to build your data by figures or by tables. Okay, before we end this session, we have to show you some database. This is some research database, as I mentioned to you. This is the link of each database. Later on, I will post this PowerPoint in the group. Then you can use this PowerPoint and use this article, this database link. I'd like to thank you for your patience. I'd like to thank you for thank the Yemeni Society for organizing this workshop. And I will let the mic. I will hand the mic to the president of society, Mr. Mana, to talk. And any question he can tell us the question, or maybe we can read it from the chat. Then we can answer in this 30 minutes or 20 minutes. There is a question here. He said, is it possible to write a systematic review in Word? Of course, we are writing the systematic review in Word. I think it's difficult to read all the comments because most of the comments is not questions. So Mr. Mana, he can allow the one he want to ask by his voice. He can write his name. Then Mr. Mana, he can open for him the mic to ask by face to face. It's better. Mr. Mana, can you hear me?
Yes, yes, doctor. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
The questions are sent to you through WhatsApp. May you check, please, in your WhatsApp?
Okay, by WhatsApp.
Yeah, the private one. The private one.
Okay, this one he said the first question. He said how the idea and stolen by searching in Google Scholar. Okay, actually, it's not really stolen, but when you are going to search about the full title, you write the full title in Google Scholar. This keyword or this title is reporting in or what is it called? The this articles or this title, when anyone go to search about your similar to your idea or similar to your topic, it will appear for him. It will appear in front of him. If are you searching about this, are you searching about these keywords? So it will be easy for the others to take your title or to take an idea about your title. I have one case. One of my friend, he already told me that one student in USM, he are when he was searching about his title, he searched by full title. After 3 months, he found one paper already published with the same title that he searched about. This is a difficulty when you are going to search about anything. You search by keywords, as we show you in Scopus by keywords and the limitation that I already explained before. If you search by this one, by this way, I think it will not be stolen. And this is stolen is only seldom happened. It's not all the time. But please to be careful, especially if you have a very if you have a very good novelty. Don't search by your full title in any database. This is my advice. The second question. We have so many questions here. Okay, this question he said, should we use other database or just one is enough? Okay, we have so many database. We have a lot of database. We have, as we mentioned before, and I show you in the slides. We have Web of Science. We have Science Direct. We have Scopus. So you can use all of them. But if you use all of them, you have to to mention that which is duplicate. How many articles is duplicate? So the duplicate articles, don't count the duplicate articles. You have to count them, and you have to show which articles is duplicate and how many articles duplicate. Then you can use different database. I use Scopus because Scopus is the most common, and it's more the huge database is in Scopus. Okay, we go to another question. Okay, here we have one question. He said 3 articles is too many. Too many articles. If I read too many articles, did I read the abstract only, or I have to continue to read the whole article? As I mentioned to you, we have I have 300 articles. It's difficult for me to read it. For level of PhD, it's not very difficult. If your level of PhD, you have to read more than 300. This is my advice. Read more than 300 in your PhD level. But you can read the abstract. Why you read all the document? Why you read all the articles? And this is not related to my area. That's why I mentioned that we have the 336 in my paper, 336 that I download, but I cite only 107. That means I read some of them. I read the abstract. It's not related to my work. The title is okay, but the scope, the methodology, they use different way. When I go to search about the objective, the scope of study, the methodology, it's not same what I'm going to study about. After that, I exclude. I exclude, and I read only the more relevant to my articles. So the number of articles, 300, is it's not too much as a PhD, but you can read only the abstract. Okay, here we are. We have a question. He said, where can we include a graphical abstract with the abstract within the abstract? Okay, graphical abstract is if you go to submit your paper to high impact journal, there is a file. Some journals they said this file is compulsory. You have to send it and to upload it, and some journals they leave it optional. Okay, there is a file you have to include this one to search to upload this file in graphical abstract. Then after that they will build. They will before they publish, they will send you the article, and they will show you the article. It will be your theory of graphical abstract, and after that, or sometimes some journals they put it after the theory graphical abstract, and some journals they put it before the graphical abstract of the theory graphical abstract. You have to do both. The theory is very compulsory. I cannot say I will do graphical abstract, then no need to do theory abstract. Graphical abstract just to summarize what you are going to do. And this is optional in many journals. I tell you it's optional in many journals, but it's better way to do a graphical abstract. For where to put, where they will put it for you in the journal before you publish your paper. The most important, you have to do this graphical abstract. Then where to put it, the journal will decide where to put it. Is it before the abstract or after the theory abstract? This one he said how to remove the duplication. Actually, when you download, when you extract your data in Excel, you have one file that I already, for example, I already have one file from Scopus. I download all the articles in one file. Then I go to Web of Science or Science Direct, I download another file. Okay, then I go to read this file and this file. I have to find that all these files, they have some duplicate. Some papers is available or in two files. So I have to remove one of them, whether in YSAG, whether in Scubas. You remove one of them and you mention that I have the duplication between this one, this database and this database. The number of duplication, for example, 10 articles. You have to mention that there is a duplication. That's all. You have to mention that how many duplication you have, and you will use this duplication. You will not use. For example, I have 100 documents, and the duplication is 20. I cannot see. I have. I read 120 documents. I can say I have 100 documents that I read, and 20 of them is duplicated by another database. It's very easy. Just mention what you are going to write. What you are going to write in your methodology, you have to write it and to mention it before in your methodology. Okay, here they said, can traditional review publish in a good journal? Of course, traditional review can publish in a good journal. I have one of my friends last week, he already published his paper, a critical or traditional review, he published it in a Q1 journal. It doesn't mean that systematic review is only can go to a high impact journal. Critical also can go to a high impact journal, but as I show you that systematic review is very clear from where you collect your data, from which database you use, which year you select the limitation of year, limitation of the type of documents. All this limitation will be clear to you and to the reviewer, and it will help you to find your narrow your research, to build your research gap and to find your novelty. But also another way, also traditional or critical journal can go to Q1 journals, and as many of our friends they publish in Q1, and they did it critical and traditional way. Okay. Here there is a question. He said you have classified based on your result and classified based on methodology. Okay, as we show you, classified or this is what I understand. He said you mention in methodology and by your result also. Okay, I download all these documents by the limitation that I use. After that, when I read the documents or read the articles abstract, I show that I see these articles is not in the same line of my research. If it is not in the same line of my research, so I have to use another article, and I have to limit or to don't use this one and cite only the one is relative to or to match with your result. Which one is related to your work, you can cite it, and the others you exclude. Okay. Here with one question, he say you summarize the method from previous study. How, if there is many methods and every article is different method? Actually, the method of systematic review, it's not fixed. not all the articles have the same method that follow. I tell you, every systematic review have their own conditions. For example, I cannot say this is the methodology, and in engineer or in environmental have to follow my method. Okay, in engineer we have a different, for example, a few articles and different, for example, database. I have to select the database from in medical, for example, a special database, for example. And in IT and in engineer, everyone have his own. I mean, the more popular in this department. For example, in IEEE for electrical, most of the articles in for electrical in IEEE. So he used his database from IEEE. I cannot force the medical and medical researchers to follow his method. So each method is different of the condition that of your research. That's why I tell you, you have to select your topic, you have to select your department, you have to select your research question. After that, you have to select the database. But you have to do your own methodology, and you have to mention that and write it what you did from the beginning until you have the data, and you have to report until you report the data. What type of the process that you follow? This is the most important. Write what you want to write. Collect your data from anywhere, but you have to mention from where, and to have to write everything in details in your methodology from where you collect your data. This is the most important. And methodology is not very fixed. It's not fixed from systematic review to other. But there is some process. For example, the 5 process we mentioned: how to build your question, how to build your topic, how to do the limitation. All this process is similar, but from where you collect your data, from where you the database that you use, this is different from one to another one. This question he mentioned, but he write DB. I don't know what the he said. Do usual reviewers ask why we choose certain DB, not others? I don't know what do you mean by DB. If you can write your question again and you write what do you mean by DB? This question he said, what should I do when literature not available to review? This one I think I don't understand what you mean by this question. Available to review. Okay, actually, every title, every area have many articles. If I understand the question like this, he don't have any articles or he don't have any literature review. All the topics, any topics in this world, I think he have articles. So many articles, but how we search in a right way, in a proper way. We have to build our question, as I mentioned, and topic. Then we search by keyword. We will find many articles and many in different database. Okay, he said database. Okay, we go back to do usual reviewers ask why you choose. Okay, of course, the reviewers will ask you why you choose this database. Of course, some reviewers, well, they ask you why you choose this database, but they will not, if you answer to them, they can, most of them, they accept your answer. If you say this is more related to my area, and this a huge database in my area, in this a huge article in this database, and they will accept, and they will accept your reply. They will ask, some of them they ask, of course, but if you give them a response, they will accept, and they will understand your reply, inshallah. What is the minimum number of articles to conducted in systematic literature review? I can see some systematic literature review, they have around 200 reference, and some of them they have less than 100, and in my opinion, it's more than 50 is okay. More than 50 is okay, but and better if you do it less than 200. More than 50 and less than 200. This is in my opinion and in my experience. It's not fixed. This is my from my experience, what I read from the previous systematic literature review. Most of them in this range, more than 50 and not less and less than 200. I think this is the last question. He said, what about the paper with other language? How we can deal with it? Can we add it to, okay, if we, this is, I didn't face this problem before, because all my research in English. So, but I don't know if you add it, but better if you search about the same title, maybe you have the translation of this article, or maybe you can add it and you mention in your reference, no problem. But if you search in Scopus, of course you will find all in English or other database. Most of the database is in English. It's very difficult to find the only in sometimes in Google Scholar. They have sometimes in Chinese language or other language. But I didn't, to be clear with you, I didn't face this problem before, so I cannot give you an answer. Maybe the answer will be wrong. I don't want to you face a problem in future. I think we already answered all the questions. If you have any more question, or maybe we missed your question, we didn't answer your question, you can send it again. We still have a few minutes, 5 minutes, then we can end this meeting, inshallah. If you don't have any question, maybe we can end this meeting. I'd like to thank all of you. I thank you for your patience. I thank the Yemeni Society for organizing this workshop, this nice workshop. It's good to meet you in Ramadan. Inshallah, Allah will help us to do many things, good things in Ramadan, inshallah, to pray, to read Quran for those who are Muslim. And may Allah bless you, all of you. I answer all the questions that in WhatsApp. Okay, thank you, everyone. Mr. Mana, if you have any things to say before we end. Mr. Mana, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, the mic with you.
All right. I would like to thank you for your great efforts, and thank everyone for joining this workshop. We hope you get the information and the workshop was good enough. And for the knowledge and for the slides, our respected speaker will share them and will be in the group. And for the video, it's been recorded and will be uploaded to YouTube. And we will share the link for those who miss some information. We hope that you enjoy this workshop and see you soon in the next projects and workshops. Thank you.
Thank you a lot. Assalamu alaikum.